Welcome to Sports and Culture, another episode. We're back again. I'm Tim Stainrod. Of course, we got Kadeem McLean joining us again. What's good, Dean?
What's good, bro? How we living out here?
Good. Another day, bro. You know, we
Facts.
always making it happen. Also, we have Jared Williams joining us as well. What's good, Jared?
What's good, my guys? How's everything going?
We making
Can't
it
complain,
do.
man.
Can't complain.
Let's keep it that way, I guess.
Anyways, also joining us today, we have a special guest, Ms. Vicky Casis. How you doing, ma'am?
What's up? How you guys doing?
Good.
We're
Thank you for
good,
coming
man.
on.
We
Good.
appreciate you coming on. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Word. So, Vicky is a woman with many talents. So we'll get into her in a second. But before we do, we just want to, tell everybody, please give us a follow on Instagram. You can find full episodes of Sports and Culture on our YouTube channel. And on Instagram, our Instagram handle would be lightup_productions. Again, at lightup_productions on Instagram. And then you can follow our audio only podcast, Twitter, which is Mike at MikeOnFirePod.com. Let me say it again. At MikeOnFirePod. I got it. At
There we go.
MikeOnFirePod. I had to say it slow so y'all really understand it. And then our Sports and Culture Twitter page, which is this show, what we're watching right now, is at S3 Culture. S3 Culture. So you can follow us on Twitter, follow us on both platforms, man. And then on IG, you can catch both snippets of Mike on Fire and Sports and Culture on IG. So check us out there. And also on IG, you get the link to all of our YouTube full episodes on YouTube and the rest of our other links as well. So check us out there. Anyways, thank you for listening. So without further ado, we're gonna get into Vicky. Vicky, talk to us, man. Tell us about yourself. Brief introduction.
Yeah, my name is Vicky Casis. I'm a 28-year-old music producer from Brooklyn, New York.
Okay.
My style, it mixes up. So I'm influenced by everything. So whether it's hip hop, soul, R&B, funk, jazz, rock, influenced by it all. So I just create whatever comes to me. That's who I am. I've been doing it for a while. Started off making beats like in high school, like senior year of high school. And from there, I never stopped. I just kept at it.
Okay. All right. So yeah, we definitely go dig into layers of Vicky today. We're gonna get to know her a little better. But before you were that, I heard you were an athlete, a basketball player back in high school. So talk about that, man. How was that?
Well, I started playing basketball when I would say around like 5, 6 years old. My brother taught me how to play ball. Love the game. Just love playing it and just playing head to head against other people. I have like a competitive spirit, so I loved it. But I didn't really play on a team until I got to high school. I went to Wingate High School in Brooklyn and played for the Lady Generals. I was the co-captain. So I played all 4 years of high school basketball. But now I just play for fun, man. I love watching the NBA and, playing for fun. I'm not really like serious on it anymore, but I always love the game.
Okay. So getting into that, man, let's talk about your sister. You said your sister plays for college right now?
Yeah, she plays for Lincoln University. And it's funny with her, as a kid, she did not like basketball. So like our whole family plays ball pretty much or loves the game. We all play and compete, but she did not like it. She liked to dance. That was her thing. She was like, I'm gonna dance. I'm gonna do that. And then it wasn't until when I started playing like high school basketball, she would come to the games. And she told me she was inspired by me playing, and she decided to get into it. And from there, she started taking it serious, played on some AAU teams, did tournaments, and really like just studied, her craft or whatever like that. And then she went to Grambling. She played basketball for Grambling State University in Louisiana.
Okay.
She was there for, I think, like 2 years, a year and a half, 2 years. And then from there, she transferred and now plays for Lincoln University. So she's been there for a little while, and she's like a center power forward. Yeah,
Okay.
that's what she
Okay.
does.
All right. What's your sister's name,
Alicia,
if you don't mind?
Alicia
Al-
Machado.
Okay. Nice. Cool. So that's what's up. So you got a little athletics in the family. Is
Yeah,
there anyone else that played sports in your family, or
I
just
see,
you and your sister?
but like my brother, he played ball. That's how I kind of got into it, was with him. He taught me how to play, but I would see him in the park playing against different guys, just killing it, just dunking the ball, going crazy. So he doesn't play, like, he didn't play on teams or anything like that, but he's just a really good ball player. And then my father played basketball. Like the whole team, the whole family,
hmm
love sports. So yeah.
Okay. Cool. Well, first of all, thank you for telling us a little bit about that. So we're gonna definitely dive into some things, but actually, before we move on from sports in that manner, talk about right now, man. Who's your team? Who's your NBA team, if you have one?
Warriors, even though the record is trash right now, Golden State Warriors, that's my team.
Now, are
Go-
they your team pre 2000 and and let's say
Everybody asked
10?
that question. No, they weren't. At that
Okay,
time, like before then, I pretty much was just loving whoever was good at the moment. But
I
yeah,
respect it.
yeah, like the Knicks. I got love for the Knicks, but come on, man.
Damn. How we catching strays like that, yo? How we catching strays like that? I can't even breathe, yo.
I love the Knicks, but
He's
it's
a
like,
Knicks fan.
man. I know. I got pride in New York, but it's just like, come on, y'all gotta like step it up.
You
But
gotta
No,
represent better. Like, we're not doing a good job of representing New York right
yeah, I know. And Brooklyn Nets, they stepped it up before KD
now.
and
They don't count. They don't count.
they were stepping up. They were doing pretty good before KD and
Yeah.
came through. But
Mm-hmm.
I like Golden State. I still do.
well, you know what?
Kind of
You
suck.
know what? Since we're on this topic, y'all are both, because Kadeem is also from New York as well.
Yeah.
And Kadeem is also a New York Knicks fan. Uh, how do you feel about Kyrie and Kevin Durant, since you're also from New York, going to the Brooklyn Nets versus going to the Knicks? How do you feel about that?
Can't even get away from this conversation.
No, I was hoping.
It was coming. You knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. I just didn't tell you it was coming, D. I wanted to throw this on you.
No, I was hoping that they would come to the Knicks. I was like, oh, come on, this is gonna be crazy. And then that whole curve ball where it's just like, nope, we don't want to do it. I'm like, what? But Brooklyn Nets, I think it's fine. The fact that they're in New York City is fine with me. So it doesn't matter.
Okay, so you're one of those people from New York that it doesn't really matter as long as the state itself gets recognition.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's fine.
okay.
I'm cool with
See,
that.
see now, if it was up to Kadeem would just prefer the Brooklyn Nets just die out, and then the Knicks just get all the glory. So, in my opinion, is
Listen,
that really a New York fan or just a biased Knicks fan? Because if you're a fan of New York, I would think you would win. I mean, I understand you have a team, but
no. There's a certain degree. There's a certain
I
degree
got him
of
started. Watch.
there's a certain degree of flexibility when it comes to certain things, though, because like, let's say, okay, just about every sport in New York has multiple teams. Whether you're talking Mets, Yankees, Knicks, Nets, Red Bull versus NYCFC. There's multiple teams in every single professional sport in New York.
Mm-hmm.
When a team is doing successful, like let me point out specifically the Jets. I didn't even say Jets and Giants. When the Jets had those years where they were in the AFC Championship, those 2 years, I rooted for the Jets to get to the Super Bowl just as much as I would have rooted for the Giants, because at the end of the day, I was like, New York, cool. This is different though, because they're not an original state. They're not an original New York state. It's completely different from me. Like, Brooklyn has a culture that I love what they stand for. Brooklyn as a borough, Brooklyn is very unique and it's probably one of the more unique boroughs of the 5, honestly, in terms of culture and just everything that they represent. They kind of just stand out from everything else.
Mm-hmm.
But the whole, if they were there the whole time, I could bend a little bit because I still do have obviously that love for New York, just as like being from there originally. But it's just that. They weren't there originally, so they kind of just don't come off. They don't have that natural New York feel for me. So as a secondary team, I don't even see myself bending, especially the way we get compared to them. I don't even see myself bending for them at any point.
I say give it time. You know, like we haven't even really seen the potential of the team yet. So I say give it time. But you know what's really crazy? I used to work for Barclays Center. I used to work in there. And I left right before whatchamacallit, Katie and Kyrie came. And I'm like, damn, I wish I could have stayed there and seen, you know, them do their thing. But I'm just happy.
Oh yeah, Barclays is gonna be electric. Let's not get it wrong. Let's not get it twisted. Once they're fully loaded, it's gonna be jumping. It's gonna be something to watch.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be bigger than what people think, man. Like you literally are gonna get New York Knicks fans just going over to the Barclays Center just to get some decent basketball.
Yeah.
Like we'll talk. Like New York as a state deserves good basketball. The NBA is better when New York is popping. When it comes to when it comes to New York
from the
sports.
Knicks. That's what you're not understanding. But that's specifically what you're not understanding about it.
Okay,
is that
No, I was gonna say before you say MSG is better than Barclays, I understand. I understand.
But it doesn't even necessarily have to do with MSG. It has to do with the fact that the Knicks are a staple in New York. So the Nets being nice, even if it's good basketball to watch, the Nets being nice doesn't suffice for a Knicks fan. Like that like the Nets being nice, like I'll never look at it and be like, you know what, at least quality basketball is happening in New York right now. That's not happening. Because they're simply just not us. It's just they'll never be us to Knicks fans. And just about everybody who in New York was a Knicks fan because the Nets were not there. So it's just they have, if they were to ever catch up, they have a long way to go.
Long way to go.
Let's just say that. Long way to go.
I can agree, and they have to be there for a while as a franchise. Like that's where they have to be. That's where they have
let
to
them let them sneak in a couple chips and start pulling some fans, because you know people say, "Oh, I don't switch sides." But let's see you do that once they let's see you say that once they have a chip in hand and they look like they could repeat or three-peat. Now it's a different conversation at that point.
It's gonna take time.
Let a generation grow up watching them play.
Exactly.
Like you know what I mean? And let's get that. So anyways, moving on, man. So Vicky, obviously we all dealing with this coronavirus situation and we're trying to make it out as best as we can. How have you been dealing with everything, man? And what's been going on with just life? How you been handling that?
I am fine. I like being home anyways, so I'm cool.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, it's scary out there. Like it's terrible what's happening, but I'm just trying to stay positive, stay inside, and stay creative as possible. Just work on stuff and kind of keep myself occupied, because if you're just sitting in one place and not doing anything, you're gonna lose your mind. So I kind of like to take my mind off of what's going on. You know what I mean? Still stay informed, but you know, be occupied with different stuff and just, I guess, take this time to just work on yourself. You know?
Oh yeah. So I actually have a follow-up question for that. You said, speaking of, just trying to stay creative and stuff, and being that quarantine calls for us to be, basically trapped in one space. Have you seen an effect on your creative side in terms of your production?
Yeah, I definitely have. I think before, like prior to COVID-19, I was still creating, but still just had my mind in different places. And now you get to focus on this, like this, whatever project, whatever you're working on. It's like now there's no excuses. Like just work on your stuff. So I think, yeah, I've created a lot of pretty cool stuff that I think it's kind of like my best work. And getting into different stuff and learning and practicing and just doing a lot more. And just in the future, I just want to keep that with me, and not try to fizzle out and work on something else and not stay focused. But it's kind of like showing like I need to focus more on my stuff. So yeah, it's a wake-up call for sure.
Word. So okay, that's actually a great segue into what we're really gonna start talking about now. So we kind of prepped you a little bit, just seeing what you were, how you were during this whole quarantine, and just a little bit background on your family and what your interests are. But now we're gonna talk about you. So you have a business, right?
Yeah, I have a team with my siblings called Mach 7 Music.
Okay.
How the name came about are basically, including me, all together, it's 7 of us. So yeah, I got a lot of siblings. And we all just love music and stuff like that. But our oldest brother, he was like, oh yeah, Mach 7 Music, like the speed of sound. And then with the 7, Mach 7 Music, that sounds dope. From there, we kept it going and just started creating. Originally, it's 3 of us, so it's like that's Mach 7. So it's me, my other brother Marcus, and my other brother Andre. But right now, it's just me and Mark, kind of like staying focused on just creating and doing production. And we have a project that's coming out this summer. It's called Black Summer Volume 2.
Okay.
So Volume 1 that came out like a couple of years ago, and my brother Marcus, he did the production, and we had a rapper, Jay Swiss. So they did about 5-6 songs. So that's like one project that's already out. It's on SoundCloud and Bandcamp. But now this new one that's coming out this summer, Volume 2, it's me and him. We're doing the production, and we have just an array of different rappers on it. And it's like a compilation album. It's like how mixtapes were back then, but now people ain't really doing mixtapes like that, so they call it an album.
A compilation, yeah.
Yeah. So it's gonna be really excited about it.
That's very dope. Because how do you essentially go about finding talent for something like that? Because do you kind of base it on the sound that you went for on the album, or being somebody who's still trying to network in a sense as well in terms of expanding?
Yeah, no, you know what?
Yeah,
all the rappers on there we know. So we've worked with either producers in the past or that we know of, or that we're good friends of. We were just like, it'd be cool to do a compilation album. Let's hit up some people that we know. So everybody, we know all these different rappers. But it's funny because some of them don't even know each other like that, and we put them on tracks. So, and then it's cool having them check it out, and they're like, oh shoot, this is kind of this is hot.
Yeah, that's fire. Because I asked that specifically because before we even got on for the call and everything, I was running through one of your projects on Apple Music. There's a track called Grit on there.
Yeah.
That shit's hard, yo. That shit, because I was listening to it, and the way the artist came in on the sound, I was like, damn, it was almost like the perfect sounding artist for Grit.
Yeah,
it just sounded right, even the titling and everything. The way it was laid out was dope.
His name is Mike Larry Draw. He's actually going to be on this project.
Okay, cool.
He's just a raw artist. He's like a jack of all trades. He's a producer, he's a rapper, he's a visual artist, he's a director. He does everything. But with his rapping style, he's very animated, and then he can switch styles. He's crazy. So I knew for that track, I was like, Mike Larry Draw got to be on it. He got to be on it. So
yeah, he got to start at make you listen. You got to listen to what he's saying, because he's very animated in delivery.
Man he's crazy. He's crazy. Yeah.
I would like to get a sample of Grit on his video somewhere, even maybe in the intro or something. I'd like the audience to kind of get a sample of that, because I did sample that a little bit. That was a dope track.
No, I can do that. Yeah. I'll do that as a bit of the intro for this episode.
All right. Jared, real quick, since you're saying something, you got anything to say so far?
Yes, I do. For me, I've known Vicky for a very long time at this point. What made you want to go into music? Not just because we've worked on they're not Broadway shows, but we did the Fringe Festival together. from that to now, from me knowing you, like, what was it where it was just like, you know what, I want to just do music?
It's always been there. It's just that I do different jobs to like help finance. I've
Feel you.
always done it. Like even as a kid, I was a drummer first before I got into production like when I was in high school, but I was a drummer first. So I started playing drums at 5. So like ever since a kid, I've always been into music. My brother, he's a guitar player, so he's played his whole life. He's played since he was like freaking like 2 years old. So there's always been music going on. And then my mom, she doesn't play any instruments or anything like that, but she has a very good ear for music. She knows when something's a hit. She's like really good with that.
Mm-hmm.
And she had us listening to so much different genres. It's crazy. And then our father, bass player. So yeah, we've always like had music in our lives. So it's kind of like something that I always want. Yeah.
That's dope.
What's one artist out of anyone, dead or alive, you would want to work with?
Pharrell.
Ooh, that's fantastic.
That's a great choice. That's a great choice.
Yo, I always tell people,
yeah,
if you put a gun to my head right now and ask me, I had to name my favorite track all time, and that's not something you think about all the time. Frontin' though, oh my God, frontin' is different. From beginning to end, from production to the way he attacked it to Jay-Z's verse, like everything about that song is crazy.
And that's just the music side, but just he like conquered like fashion and like just so much different stuff.
He's a cultural icon. He really is. He's a legend.
Yeah, basically.
He's a legend. He is a legend.
He really is.
The fact that you said frontin', and I just immediately started getting into that. That you better stop frontin', babe. Let me stop.
Speaking of Pharrell, is he one of your producer inspirations? Because Pharrell is very underrated in terms when you think of production. Like the stuff he actually has on his resume.
Nah, his resume is crazy. He's worked
his
with
resume is crazy.
The Neptunes with Pharrell and Chad, like there's a time where they conquered all the music on radio. Like they produced like the majority of the music that was playing on the radio at a certain time. From pop to hip hop to R&B, like they did that. That's crazy. Like,
there are well-known tracks. I tell you right now, I could just throw out to you if I was to run down their catalog that you know by name, that you probably haven't heard in a minute, that you definitely don't know they produced.
Yeah, they produced, right?
Facts.
That they produce. Facts. Their catalog is crazy.
A lot of people could say that about Pharrell too. Like this dude got tracks people have no idea he produced. So you see the credits, you're like, yo. Like I used to say the same thing about Neo. Low key.
Neo's crazy.
Neo's writing credits is crazy.
Did you see
insane, bro?
Him and Johnson Austin when they did the versus battle?
No, my cousin was telling me about that, and the wild thing is, I had mentioned that I wanted to see Neo versus like Miguel or something. I didn't even know Neo was on, and I kind of like Johnson Austin. I didn't even hear about that episode.
No. You know what this is? This versus thing is now really starting to pick up steam because I didn't really hear about it until Jill Scott and Erykah Badu, keeping it a buck. That's kind of when I really heard like that whole thing. And then you see Nelly and Ludacris doing their thing.
Yeah. They had a couple matchups early that were interesting, like Scott Storch, Manny Fresh, even though Scott Storch
that happened?
Yeah, bro.
Yes.
That was the first one.
Scott Storch demolished Manny Fresh though.
Yo, he demolished him, but the thing is, and I'm glad you're a producer, so we can have this conversation. He demolished him simply because Manny Fresh don't have that range.
Yeah, I agree because Scott, he produced songs that I didn't even know he did. When I heard that verse, it was stuff I was like, he did this? I'm like, are you serious? It was
and the range is crazy.
What would be the one with Sean Paul, that Beyonce song?
Baby Boy.
Oh,
yeah, he has heat.
Yeah. Yo, even going back to Dr. Dre joint.
Oh yeah. Whatchamacallit?
Still Dre. Still Dre.
Still Dre. Still Dre.
Still Dre.
Listen, to be honest, Still Dre to me is one of my top 5 beats all time.
It's a very hard
Personally,
beat.
Iconic.
It's a very
it's too iconic.
Just hearing
That
the second of it, you already know what song it is. Like you already
That's a
know.
fact.
yo, can I? Since we talk about this real quick, do you have? And then we're gonna move on. We're gonna talk about because I definitely want to get into your business again a little bit about with 2 things. But do you have a top 3 beat category if you can? Like, do you have like your top beats that you like of all time? Because Kadeem just named one talking about Frontin' as being one of his top songs. But like, do you have anything like as far as beats goes?
Like off the top of your head.
That's hard. Okay, grinding, because even since a kid.
Woo!
See, there go
Grinding
Neptunes
is
again.
different. Grinding
Neptunes
is
again.
different.
There go Neptunes again right here.
You can't go wrong with grinding, bro. Everybody,
Yeah.
Yo, I'm
Can't.
still making the
Had
beats.
the
I'm
middle
still
school
making the
tables
beats.
rocking at lunchtime.
Everybody was at the lunch table making that. And
Everybody.
I was the go-to person. Like, oh, make a beat so I can freestyle. I was the one banging on the table. That was my go-to.
So you knew from then. You knew from then that's what you was trying to do, man.
So that changed the game for everyone. That was it.
all right.
This is really tough. This is tough. Dang. I can't choose like 2. That's crazy. Okay.
Let me see.
Kanye's another one that's like.
I was gonna ask earlier too, because when I was running through your stuff, I was gonna say, is Kanye an inspiration for you? Because Kanye, as a producer, is very, very, very soulful. And the way he be flipping the soul into hip hop records is magnificent. He just has a very soulful soul to say. And I kind of caught that essence in what I was listening to earlier. So I was gonna actually bring up Kanye.
No, Kanye.
You do have a lot of jazz influence, I can tell, in some of your songs.
Oh, yeah.
Very instrument heavy.
Yeah.
I'm even thinking like you can really I don't know if you're into this, but you can definitely get into film scoring. Cause I can see some of your tracks being on movies like say The Players Club or somebody like something like a romantic black comedy or something like that. But that smooth old like baby boy type of feel. Like I was getting that from a couple of your jazz.
That's what I'm trying to get into.
tracks.
Yeah, I'm trying to get into the whole film scoring thing. Like really like practicing. That's something that I would love to tap into next. Like just seeing different that is cool. So yeah.
No, because me and you will definitely talk in the future, honestly. Well, I mean that, and the guys know what I'm talking about. Definitely.
Yeah, this is a movie guy. He's the movie guy of the group.
I'm down for sure. I was
God willing.
with so Contact High. Me and my brother did music for that. That's the closest we came as far as working like with just like film or anything like that in music. But yeah, definitely would love to tap into that more.
Okay, cool. We definitely will. So going back into things, man, I just wanted to moving things along. Before we leave your business, your network, like what exactly is your network at the moment? Like, and what I mean by that question is, like, you're a producer, but who are you meeting? Because I know this last year has been a pretty good year for you. Had a couple things going on. I know you actually have been meeting with a lot of new artists, like you said, and we can definitely give them a shout out after maybe the end of this. But like, what's your network have been like? If I'm asked, if that makes sense, like, kind of give us a brief.
Well, just Instagram first of all is like the number one when it comes to networking and stuff. Social media is it, because like your page, you can use your page to your advantage, like to promote, and people, they get to see who you are through your page. So finding different people and stuff like that, always social media is number one thing. I do travel a lot, so I like to go to LA a lot of times and just different places and be just in that music scene. And go to different like music events and stuff like that, like NAMM. NAMM is like a yearly thing that happens in Anaheim, and all the sponsors and people that are sponsors for different music equipment or just anything with music, that's where you want to, because all the musicians, all the producers, artists, they're there to see, oh, what's the next thing coming out? Like, what's the coolest, beat machine or what instrument or whatever is coming out. You see that name first. So everybody's there. So you go and, it's just network anywhere I go, pretty much. It's just stay in the music scene and just get to know people.
And also, what I mean too is like to add to that question, because that still was a little vague of a question. What I mean is to, like, have you been going any places, particularly meeting specific people? Have you been going into any like particularly like festivals or any type of gatherings where producers gather? Because what I like to do is expose things like that, like maybe things that another producer may be looking to hear in listening to this episode that would have never even heard about this place until you mentioned it. Like, do you have any places that you network and frequent?
Well, as far as like in New York goes, they have places called like the Shed. So the Shed, it happens, it's like every week, like every Wednesday, and they have it in Harlem. And all artists come. It's like an open jam session that happens. So all the artists are there. That's
in Harlem, you said?
Yeah, in Harlem. But they kind of change the location from time to time, but it's usually like at Gin Fizz in Harlem. Another place is like Soul in the Horn. Soul in the Horn is another like weekly Friday party event thing that happens where people are just dancing and grooving, but different people come out there. And now during this whole COVID-19 thing, as far as for producers go, there's two places that I've been a part of, and one is Today's Future Sounds. Elliot Gann, it's a nonprofit that he holds, and he's like a teacher. So he teaches kids just about beat making and production. So he goes to different schools and teaches kids, but he's also having this global like beat cipher through Zoom that he live streams, and all like he creates like sample packs. Then all the whoever want to join, they go ahead and take whatever samples they want and flip it, and then we do like a pass like the aux and like kind of like play the beats that we created through the sample pack. So he does that.
That's fire.
Yeah, every Saturday.
That is fire.
Called Today's Future Sounds Global Beat Cipher, and you can see that on YouTube, on it's live stream on Instagram and live stream on the Facebook page, and also Michael Larry Draw, who we were talking about earlier. He's also a producer, and he has a organization called Kaizen Club, where he kind of shines a light on producers and has them like pretty much do like beat sets and stuff like that. And he does that also every week, and that's on YouTube. You can watch that on YouTube and follow Kaizen Club on Instagram and for like updates and stuff like that. But it's a lot of great things that's out right now. So yeah.
Okay. Speaking of production, right? The whole learning process and coming up with samples and then putting the sample packs together and based off that coming up with new beats out of them. When it comes to actually laying your beats down and get into the nitty gritty, what's the first thing you attack as a producer? I know a bunch of people like to lay down drums, or some people are very synth heavy. Where would you either suggest to start for somebody as a beginner, or just what do you find yourself starting with mostly?
Yeah, definitely the drums. I think it comes from just being a drummer. I kind of like to start with the drums and then from there just build up. But when it comes to like sampling, I like to tackle the sampling first and chop it up, and then add on, the drums, and then add on if I want like a melody or synths or anything on top of that. But for the most part, yeah, drums comes first for me.
Okay.
Okay, I like that question actually. So you tackle the drums, and like what goes into, like, for instance, I know you just had a recent release called April 27th. So just talk about that process, and like, because I want to expand on what Kadeem just asked you, like what goes into making a beat, period. Like what do you draw from? I know you can have artist inspirations and stuff like that, but what does it for you? What makes you tick when you're in the studio? Like what goes on?
For me, I like to just free my mind and like whatever comes to me, then I just go with it. And then from there, like if I see, oh yeah, like this melody or this key starting to sound kind of cool, or I also like to find like different sounds. For specifically April 27th, there's actually a sample in there. A lot of people don't know. So with that sample, I use that, and then from there, kind of like just started structuring how I wanted the beat to go, and then from there added the beat, and just started using just different sounds. I kind of like to make each track different from my last track, and use like drum patterns, just different cool sounds and stuff like that. I really like experiment a lot when it comes to like sounds and stuff like that, and making sure things sound different. I don't like to sound kind of like the same.
So sampling wise, do you have an artist or a genre that you like to sample specifically, or more often than any other?
No, it's not. I don't even care what the genre. It could be anything.
Mm-hmm.
It could be anything. I just like to find a certain part that may like stick out for me, or even mix different samples together. But I don't really have a particular genre at all. Everything is all out in the open, and from there, I just kind of like choose whatever stands out for me.
Yeah, because. Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Dean.
No, I was just saying because sampling for me, I feel like sampling is one of my favorite aspects of production, and people will kind of say like, but it's kind of like a producer cheating, but I don't feel like it is, because it's like you're literally drawing inspiration from something and flipping it. I feel like that's the ultimate appreciation of music.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. And then also to just chop it, it's not as easy as people
It's
think.
not. It's not. It's not. It's a science. It's a science.
Like complicated. Choose what you want. Like it's not. It's a skill. It really is a skill. And with me, I just recently started using more sampling in music, because usually before I just create like my own stuff. But I've always had an appreciation and love for samples just in general, and how producers use it. Like I appreciate it for sure.
I had a question about sampling. So when you sample something, do you have to give like a royalty or something like that? Like how does that work?
What's the process of getting rights and stuff like that?
Yeah, the rights stuff. A lot of producers, they don't even ask for permission like that. You're supposed to go and like ask for permission from the artist and stuff like that, but a lot of people don't even do that unless you're like a really big name, or the song becomes like really huge. Then you're gonna get.
Then you're gonna have to cover your ass, exactly.
And you gotta.
I actually was gonna make mention of Tory Lanez, because what he just recently had to go through with his last album, I heard, when it came to the amount of lawyers he had to go through. And I forgot what song specifically. What song was it? I think it was the song with T-Pain that he just recently did. I forgot what it was, but the amount of lawyers, the amount of lawyers you got to go through. No, you definitely have to do it, or you will get sued. It's now.
Lanez is a big artist, so they're gonna be.
He's a huge artist.
Yeah,
but my point to Tory though is it's not even that. It's more so that's a skill.
Yeah.
To be able to beautifully mix an original piece of music to a new identity with that same concept, almost and making it its own. Like he's literally big. That song with T-Pain, I forgot. I keep for some reason it's escaping my mind.
Is Armstrong?
Yo, it's a completely different entity.
And everybody loves Armstrong. Everybody loves. That's not easy to make.
It's not easy to do, and he does it consistently, and he's not appreciated enough for it. I promise.
It's so hard to flip a song when you're clearly still trying to keep the base of what it is, yet also diversify it the way that he actually ends up doing it. Like he literally flips it to the point where it comes out as a completely new song, but still has the essence of the sample that he intended for it to sound. Very dope artist. Some people don't like that, but honestly, as a person who loves music and just all genres, I keep my playlist or just my iTunes on shuffle at all times. It's just I smell appreciation for music when people do stuff like that, more so than trying to take credit away, honestly.
And that's his lane, honestly. Like, people keep saying like Tory be cheating, he be just trying to like get off on other people's music. No, I honestly, like, yeah, maybe he's using other people's work for his work, but it's like, again, goes back to the respect. He purposely, like, he can leave certain tracks alone, and then or how should I say this? Him using a certain track on his record could now go gain extra records and sales for that original track.
Right.
You know, like, he doesn't have to use your sample. He can use other people's sample. So the fact that he's choosing to use your sample is the ultimate sign of respect, in my opinion. Like, yo, like, you find my work dope enough to sample, yo, my man, let's do business. What's up?
But, you know,
So that's what I'm trying to say.
Way to just like, oh, why are you trying to do this? Why are you trying to do that? You know how some artists are. They're like, no, like, don't touch my music. But
Yeah,
but I definitely get it. Like, I like how he just remakes songs and makes it himself. Like, he makes it that people can, like what you said, appreciate that sample, but also appreciate him and his art.
facts. I love how I think the thing that allows for him to get away with it, because he does do it kind of often, but I feel like the thing that allows him to get away with it is that when he flips it, he literally flips it away that it just fits for the modern time. So it's just like essentially paying homage to a track that usually most of the time still has replay value to this day. Yeah. It's just a respect to, okay, we're gonna give it to the new generation so they don't forget. Like, I'm still have this essence or type of thing.
But then even the new generation, they can listen back to that sample, just like the first track that came out with the Brownstone song, to say it. Like, maybe the new generation, they might have not known that song like that, and now they can listen back and be like, oh, this song is actually fire. Like,
Can I be honest? Can I be honest? Can I be honest? To say it, I actually didn't hear say it, the original piece, until I heard Tory say it.
Oh,
then I had to go back. No, Tory actually introduced me to that original song, and that's literally what I'm saying. Because I figured it was an older, like, it was a sample of something. I just didn't know what it was. So I actually went back, found the original song, and was effing with it.
Yeah.
It was fire. So that's what I'm saying. Like, he's just, it's a respect thing. It's a respect thing.
So, my mom loves that song from Brownstone, and when she heard it Tory playing, she appreciated it. Like, she loved it. So it's just, I think it's bringing different generations together. You know what I mean? So I think it's cool.
Definitely.
Yeah, so we don't even have to stay on actually production per se, because I'm kind of wanted to get into just, you know, your opinion on like some of the music and some artists out, some of your favorites and stuff like that. But one last production note: when you're doing I kind of lost my train for thought a little bit, but when you are trying to, or when you're listening to a song, right, and you notice like a sample for the first time, or you're like, okay, I've heard this somewhere, and it kind of takes you a little while to realize. You know, I don't know if you guys have ever experienced that, like when you finally realize what song is being sampled in a new track that you find fire, or sometimes when you catch a sample later down the line that you didn't even know that was a sample. Like, I don't know, that kind of stuff in music excites me. So that's why I enjoy doing this episode per se, because just the deeper dive into the music side, because production gets lost in the shuffle, and production holds just about half the weight, sometimes more, because sometimes these producers is carrying these artists. I'm not even gonna hold you.
Yeah.
Nah, they are.
No,
and honestly though, go ahead, Vic.
Like that. So I agree. Yeah. What you saying though?
No, I was gonna say, Jay-Z's 4 for 4. I was enjoying so many parts of that album, because this man was literally getting samples of certain things, and it's like that's what, not just Jay-Z's 4 for 4. It's uh, um, Watch the Throne as well. The
Mhm.
samples in Watch the Throne and a little bit in 444. It's like, yo, like you really like when you find the original piece to these samples, there's an art to it. There's like you have to there's a meticulous search for the right fit for your song. Even Drake does it. Like and Nothing Was the Same. Like good God
40,
Almighty.
the way 40 be flipping
Good
stuff
God
on his
Almighty.
samples is crazy.
Yeah, shout out to
For, for,
40
I
facts,
love it.
shout out to 40.
Yeah.
It's like meat to me. Like it's just a good meal when I figure out where it came from and the original piece. Like, bro, now this is music. This is how you
Mhm.
carry the art of music. This is what it's intended for.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even intended. I'm sure artists who were in the 70s who had their heyday with their sound, and you know, as generations go on, who wouldn't love a resurgence of your old music? Like, come on now, stop that. It's really a benefit for both parties, in my opinion. Even
For the
going back to
culture.
Tory Lanez, for the culture, and it's reintroducing some of these newer cats to what really started. Like, bro, and you know what? And here's another sleeper too, Vicky. Music in movies and music in video games.
Oh, yeah.
I'll never forget going back to one of my top 3 beats of all time. It's Pete Rock and CL
Oh
Smooth.
my
They
God.
Reminisce Over You.
I knew you were gonna say that. I knew you were gonna say
Yo,
NBA Jam.
NBA Street Volume 2 introduced me
Yeah.
to Pete Rock and CL Smooth. And for those who don't know, it's like
Yeah, that's a great beat.
You know,
classic. It's to the point where it's like gonna transcend generations upon generations. That's how classic that beat is. So and I can get to my other ones, man, but it's just like, but anyways, go ahead. I'm sorry. Vicky.
oh no, I agree. And shout out to Pete Rock. I know Pete. My brother, he's actually a soul brother. So Pete, he has a band that he tours with, and they all like vibe out. And my brother's a guitar player in there. But so shout out to the Soul Brothers.
Oh, that's fire. That's fire.
Word.
He's amazing, man. That's a legend. That's an icon, right?
I would love to meet Pete. I'm serious, man.
A
No
legend.
cap.
A legend.
I think I have. Now that I'm talking about it and verbally saying it, I think I have to meet Pete.
Okay.
No cap. I'd love to manifest that. But all right, moving on, man. We definitely talked about a lot tonight, man. You know, Vicky, first of all, I appreciate you again coming out, just giving us your thoughts on everything, man. You know, we definitely wanted to at least get you to talk about your business and what you're trying to do, and just, you know, what it's like being an MC, you know, as a female. So with that, we wanted to just briefly talk about the current state of the game. Do you have a top MC right now? And it doesn't even have to be female per se, but if it is female, I would love to hear who, because there's a lot of female artists, period, that don't get the recognition they deserve.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it's, if you do have anybody in mind, you know, please feel free.
Female
You know?
MCs, or just MC in general.
MCs in general, honestly.
MC in general, but we're just allowing you to, like, if you have, like, if you want to even split it, you can, because I just, you know, would
Yeah.
like to.
For
Up to you.
well, first of all, before all that, like just all the female MCs that's out right now, it's just a beautiful thing. I'm so happy.
Facts.
There's like a variety of different like woman MCs like getting their shine right now. Like it's fire. Like
Talented.
and
These
talented.
are talented women, bro. No, it's crazy.
Like Rhapsody is amazing.
Yo, I be trying to tell people about Rhapsody, man. Like, she's nice. Complexion was easily the best verse I heard that entire year. I'm not even gonna hold you.
That woman can rap circles around
a bunch of the guys out right now.
All of the guys, man. She's like one of the top ones right now. Kendrick Lamar, that's my favorite. K Dot, like he's like one of my favorite MCs as far as like right now. And J. Cole, of course. I love J. Cole. I'm more so like, of course I love like you know, like trap stuff like Migos and all them, they're fire. But when it comes to just like lyrical like talent and stuff like that, definitely like K Dot, Rhapsody, J. Cole, those are like the people right there. Like those are the top.
Who do you Okay, so with this right now, because a lot of people would argue Kanye back in the day had like the best production and stuff, on a consistent basis. Right now, who would you say is one artist that you feel has been consistently? Maybe you could make it like the last two-year span, so we could make it relatively short. But right now, who do you think has been producing the hottest, like, or putting forth the best production mixes so far?
Oh,
Just as, and you can judge this by like diversity or just overall, just like content.
for production in general, like Boy Wonder and A-Rap,
Ooh,
um,
ooh, ooh, ooh.
Wonder Girl is like awesome. Man. And as far as okay, that's you saying right now, because I was gonna go into like the legends, but definitely
Yeah,
yeah.
right now.
Yeah, right now, yeah. Boy Wonder, Wonder Girl, Track Girl, Track Girl. And then as far as people that I know, I would say like Mike Larry Draw, he's a
Mhm.
beast. I would say
Hmm.
Brother, he's a beast. Um, it's a lot of good stuff coming out right now. And then just taking it from like just like a different genre, I would say like Tame Impala. I think he's
Mhm.
for like
Mhm.
this man does everything.
Yeah, yeah, he does.
He engineers his own music. He produces his own music. He's singing. He's playing every single instrument. Like he and recording it, like and putting it out. It's crazy. So,
Tyler, the Creator. Do you fuck with Tyler? Yeah, I appreciate when artists
Tyler the Creator.
are very indulged in their project to the point where like a Tame Impala in a Tyler the Creator are, because it's just like you're truly getting the entire essence of them. Like you're not getting cheated at all. Like if that's what they wanted you to sound like, what wanted you to hear,
mm-hmm.
that's what you're getting.
You're gonna hear. That's it. And
Yeah.
that's
See,
always been the point for Tyler. Like he's just always just killed it. I've always been a fan since OF. Like for
And he's not afraid to try shit either. He's very, very out there in terms of style. I love it.
he doesn't care what people think. So I love it.
like, when I hear Astro World, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I think in like 10 years from now, like Travis has made albums. Like I mean, Rodeo, Days Before Rodeo, Birds in the Trap. Like he's
Trav started
genius.
as a producer.
Yeah.
Facts,
Yeah, he started as a producer.
facts. But when I think of Astro World, I think of that, like that album is going to for me. It's going to represent Travis. Like that is his mind. That is what we got into the head of Travis. Just, and I'm not even talking about actual lyrics. I'm talking about the music videos that came out with that album. I'm talking about the whole essence of Astro World, his head, everything in that production itself. And then I'm talking about the sound that he curated in the album. Like,
We were, we were
I
definitely.
don't know, man.
No, Travis is Astro World was amazing. I loved Astro World a lot. Like
Instant classic.
he killed it. He killed it. And then for you to have your own damn like carnival, like
Facts. And then tour with it like that too.
tour with it like that, that's genius.
With an upside down roller coaster, bro. Come on
Facts.
now.
Speaking of touring, I actually meant to bring this up earlier. I'm sure you've been to a couple, concerts, underground stuff, shows like that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a favorite concert you've been to so far, or a favorite performer that you've seen?
The Kendrick Lamar concert for the Pimp a Butterfly to me
Mm-hmm.
is like one of the best, only because that's like a once in a lifetime opportunity, because he didn't really tour to Pimp a Butterfly like that, and
Mm-hmm.
He didn't, yeah.
he didn't tour it. So I think that was like a gem to be there.
At one of the shows, yeah.
Every song on
For,
the album.
for that
For
that album?
For that album. He performed every song.
Is that your favorite Kendrick album?
Yeah, that's my favorite Kendrick album.
Yeah, I could tell. I could tell, because you don't know why. I know it's the instrumentation on it that does it for you. Yeah. It's crazy. It's so funky and just so jazz and everything influence is just fire. I knew it would have been enjoyable. Yeah, that's dope.
Is that your favorite Kendrick album, Kadeem?
Yeah, that's easily one for me because like it just as an album, I appreciate when songs are just great on an album. Like I was actually talking about this the other day. Future, like DS2 for me, I feel like it's his best project. Like it's great, but the project that he just dropped the other day, it made me listen to it. Like it didn't just sound great. It made me listen to like, okay, the song construction, like how he's
Mm-hmm.
actually writing, you know what I'm saying? So for me, when I can tell more went into a project than just making a banger or something like that, when I can actually feel you on the track itself. So I love it. And I feel like To Pimp a Butterfly was very organic.
It's just amazing. Like
It's an amazing project.
I'm listening to it, and then after the end of it with the interview with Tupac, and then you just think about it. It's just like, yo, this is like a brilliant body of work. Like this is
Truly brilliant.
Amazing. Like it's amazing. So Kendrick, that concert was amazing. But Tyler, I saw him at Governor's Ball. That was last year, I think, and that was for Igor. He did like all the songs off of Igor, and it was just ridiculous. Like he murdered it. Like his energy. Like Tyler's energy is like crazy. So that what else? Jay-Z. I saw Jay-Z. That was for what? Was that for Made in America? I think it was for Made in America. That was Made in America. A couple years back, I saw him, and that was fire. And he performed like all the 440.
Jared, I think your thing is going off.
But
No, that's not me.
Okay.
no, that was me.
Oh, it's all good.
I would say those three for me was pretty tight. That was cool.
Okay. So, is there anybody that you haven't seen yet that's like a bucket list performer that you or artist you have to see?
Cudi.
If it was Cudi?
I haven't see him live, and I'm so upset that I haven't, and I need to. He's like one of my favorite artists ever. Like I really love Kid Cudi, so I have to see him. I will.
In the Cut was a very special moment.
Oh yeah.
Very special moment. Like that's like how you were describing earlier, Tim, this Astro World being the complete representation of Travis, like as an artist. That's what In the Cut felt like for me, for Cudi. Like it was just him in his ultimate bag. It was so raw. It's just the tracks. You actually run down that track list, and I actually want to dive into this specifically because over last summer I had to pick up a job in between the seasons at NBC, and I picked up a job in Nordstrom, and I had to drive to Westchester just about every single day. And the 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock drives back home at night, empty road. In the Cut literally lasted me for an entire month. That's nothing I ran. Let's talking about just last year. That came out 2015. The staying power it has, it's just like you hear a song off it, you have to go back to the album immediately. You can't just listen to any one song solo by itself. It's just one of those type of projects. Fire.
Like In the Cut definitely was it. Of course, Man on the Moon. Everybody's always say that's like his his body of work. I think I would say between that and Man on the Moon 2 for me. I really love Man on the Moon 2. But I love that.
All right. All right, cool. All right, so well, first of all, Vicky, I appreciate everything, man. We definitely loved having you on the show so far, just giving out all the, the advice and the tidbits and all the, just things that you've been through and continue to grind. It's gonna be, you're gonna keep doing your thing. So two things before we end. I just wanted to allow you to, are there any local artists that you want to give a shout out to, or anybody that you want to give a shout out to that you, would just anybody?
And I'm gonna sneak a question in at the end too.
Okay, so like all the peoples that's on Black Summer Volume 2. So that's Mike Larry Draw, Jay Swiss, King Ka, John Robertson, Descendant, Phantom Fuego, BB3. Shout out to FK Jazz. Shout out to Leah. There's so many people. M Plays, my brother. Just everybody that I didn't even name. You know who you are. I love you guys. And, we're just going to keep striving for what we want. That's
Definitely.
it. Yeah.
Definitely. And I'd love to possibly have your brother and you back on for a show.
We got to do a Black Summer edition.
I'm with it.
I'm gonna sneak in. I'm gonna send you a private link of it before. Yeah, I'll send you guys a private link. It ain't coming out until probably August, but I want you guys. I want to get you guys' take on it because you guys are heavy into the music stuff. So I definitely want to take on it. But I'm excited about it.
Definitely interested in that.
Yeah.
Word. Okay. Cool. Yeah. So that's kind of where we was at with everything, man, as far as that concerned. But definitely wanted to thank you for coming on. We definitely need more exposure to just female producers in general because the females are creative. I've seen some of the best artists out there, and I think they're women. Just looking at I mean, who you got? Lauryn Hill is probably maybe my top artist of all time.
Let's go there.
It's honestly, she may be up there for me. Maybe the first one for me. I don't know. That's how high of a regard
Missy Elliott.
I'm telling you, man. I was gonna mention Missy Elliott too. Missy Elliott is one of the. First of all, she's a legend.
She don't get enough flowers. She don't get enough flowers
at all for what she did in her videos, as far as the type of culture she brought to the music video game. You know what I mean?
She was a total package.
Yeah.
She was she's everything you would want in an entertainer.
Did Missy produce as well?
Yeah,
she did.
She had to have. She had to have. There's no way. There's no way you messing with Timbo that heavy and you're not learning. You're not producing. There's no way.
She's
I believe she
herself and for other artists and for other artists
sure.
And I believe she choreographed too some dances.
Yeah,
choreography.
The dance movement. She put a lot of different dancers on and always stayed to shine the light on just the dance community. So it's a beautiful thing. And also for all the other female producers, I just wanted to shout them out too, like Posy Bell, V Notes. There's just different ones. 13. There's a lot of great female producers out there that's doing the thing, and we just gotta keep striving. But we need our shine, man. We are out here.
That's a fact.
That's a fact. Really out here,
Look, talent is talent at the end of the day. That's what I'm saying. I've never ever even seen, because listen, music is with the ears, so nothing else even matters for me.
My thing
this sounds great. I'm trying to listen to that.
My thing is music can change your mood. Music can change how you're feeling about anything. If you're having a bad day, good day, it doesn't matter who's making it, as long as it's good music. And that's all I ever cared about, is making good music.
Absolutely.
So I wanted to sneak one last question in.
I had a question too before she gets off.
Okay, so then go ahead, Jared. I'll let you get that.
Let you go first, Jared.
Okay, so I want our viewers to know, you were on a magazine,
Oh yeah.
So I wanted you to just talk about that for a little quick second.
Okay, yeah. 95 magazine. I'm featured in issue 9 that had came out April 23rd. And how I came across with them, I found them on Instagram. I'm telling you, Instagram is it's my go-to, man, to find stuff. But I found them on Instagram, and their magazine, it shines a light on just independent artists, and they interview them and just find out what their story is. And they're a publication from Charleston, South Carolina, and I was able to go and fly there and interview with Taylor. Shout out to Taylor, who put me in the magazine. She interviewed me, and she's also a photographer, so she took pictures. And she put me in the magazine. She loved the music, and she was like, "Yeah, I want to put you in the magazine." So definitely shout out to 95 Magazine for featuring me in there.
And for that link, you can definitely check out you at your Instagram. You have the link to that 9 to 5 interview on your link tree. And what's your Instagram?
It's _CASIS _. So you can catch me there. And from the Mach 7 page, it's MACH7 MUZIK.
Nice.
Cool.
All right, cool.
So I just wanted to sneak one little last question here. Something I've been trying to do of late on this thing, just to spice it up a little bit. I'll put you on a spot real quick. If you could own, there's 3 options here. I'm gonna ask you to keep one, put one put one next in the queue, and then literally delete one from the shuffle. In terms of producers, you have Pharrell/Neptunes, Kanye, and Madlib.
Oh, come on, man. Why you gonna do that?
I tell you, I had to put somebody on the spot.
All right, Madlib. Put you on the spot. So look, there you go. Madlib, yeah, he's number 1.
Crazy. That's tough.
I love Ye.
That's very tough.
Neptunes, but Neptune's got to stay with me too. Sorry, Kanye, you gotta go.
See, and I respect it because that means
that's hard.
That's
Kanye. Like, Kanye got some hits on him, man.
It's tough, but yo, you really look at the Neptunes catalog though. Like when we're done with this episode, I'll hit y'all up in the group chat. I want y'all to I'm gonna send y'all the Wikipedia of the Neptunes catalog because I was looking at it recently. I had a chat on a group chat on Twitter, and we were debating Neptunes versus Ye for like a versus battle.
Everybody's talking about that too.
And I was
that would be insane.
I was looking at the Neptunes list, and I'm like, off the top of my head, I'm like, okay, I have a fairly decent picture of all the stuff they've been on. And then I looked at the catalog, and I was like, yo, like the catalog is different. Like, so I can't even be mad at you leaving off Kanye because the catalog is of that caliber.
No, I would love to see that versus battle. That would be insane.
It would be crazy.
That would be insane. Yo,
I also actually heard before we even wrap this up that they're trying to get Missy versus Busta as one of the next. And that one right there, that one might blow the roof off everybody's crib.
Nah, I might have to tune in for that one.
That one's crazy.
Entirely. I haven't sat through a whole one yet. I might have to sit through that one. I'm sorry.
All the versus battles is on YouTube. Like, just check it. But the one that excited me, like, of course, the Jill Scott and Erykah Badu one. That was awesome. But the one that really excited me so far was with Neo and Johnson Austin. Like,
I gotta watch that. It's the only one I haven't seen.
This is not productive. This is about pen because they're both songwriters. So
writers. Okay.
So it's not just their own stuff, but it's also who they've written for. You're gonna have your jaw's gonna drop to the floor.
Yeah, because Neo got some writing credits for Beyonce, Rihanna, like the top tier.
Johnson did so much Aaliyah songs.
Facts.
You gotta watch it.
Yeah. Because I actually like Johnson as an artist in itself. So I gotta go back here and watch that.
So they're on YouTube. Bad.
Yeah, all of them are on YouTube.
I'm about to check it out.
Yeah.
I'm about to check that out. All right. So Vicky, again, thank you again for everything. We kind of just had to wrap everything up. But as we're closing, we always like to allow the guests to give a last closing statement. Like, is there anything that you would like to say to, maybe some of the younger girls who are interested in what you're interested in, or anything you want to say to just our generation, like people our age entirely, like just anything you want to leave with us?
It might be cliche, but just keep doing what you're doing. Don't listen to other people saying, oh, you can't be a producer, you can't make beats, oh, this is only the men or whatever. None of that. No, you keep believing in your craft and your music, and also just be a student of music. Like learn from other like greats. I always say that. Don't just think, oh yeah, I'm the best and I'm that and that. Just be unique and learn from the greats, and yeah, just stay focused. That's it. Just stay focused.
That's it. Well, yo, I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Dope episode.
Definitely was a great episode. We loved having you on, and we'd definitely like to have you back on the show. So I appreciate it.
I'll be back. All right.
Thank you. Thank you everybody for tuning in. This is Sports and Culture. Me, Tim, Kadeem, Jared. We out.